Hello, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Following the Fever Dream postgame, one of the speakers made a couple of comments that really stood out to me. I honestly forget who said it, so apologies for that, but the points they made are worth breaking down. There was also something mentioned regarding Kelsey Mitchell that I think deserves attention. The clip itself is only about 10 seconds long, but it contains two important nuggets of information that tell us a lot about what happened in this game and the bigger picture surrounding the Indiana Fever. Let's listen.
They kept a fresh body on Caitlin at all times. Look, Caitlin had 26 points, right? All of her baskets, she had somebody right there. It was rare that we just saw an open shot, and so they were applying pressure all day long. But the Fever, sometimes when you get into a situation where the ball stays in her hand a little bit longer, the stretches where other players aren't touching it. Yes.
All right, so there were two really important comments that I want to talk about because they tell us a lot about what's happening with the Indiana Fever right now. The first comment was simple. Hey, Caitlin Clark had 26 points. Now, that might not sound like much, but that's actually a lot of praise, as I'm trying to tell y'all for a long time. Every bucket Caitlin Clark gets is difficult. She is almost never open. Think about that for a second. Defenses are locked in on her and making every shot as difficult as possible. This goes all the way back to the pre-Olympic break in 2024. Remember, throughout 2024, Caitlin Clark led the league in unassisted buckets. That completely destroys the narrative that she can't create her own shot, because creating her own shot is exactly what she does. And we're seeing the exact same thing happen again. Meanwhile, Stephanie White keeps saying the same thing over and over. We've got to figure out how to get Caitlin Clark some easier looks. When is it actually going to happen? Stephanie White has repeatedly acknowledged the problem, but we still aren't seeing consistent adjustments. The offense continues to put Caitlin Clark in situations where she has to create something out of nothing. And that's where the issue with the offensive system comes into play. One of the biggest changes we've seen is the reduced use of the pick and roll with Aliyah Boston, which was one of Indiana Fever's most effective actions. That brings us to the second comment. Caitlin Clark has the ball in her hands too long, which means other players don't have it. Here's the problem with that criticism. For those of y'all watching these games, you know exactly what's happening. Caitlin Clark isn't holding the ball because when Caitlin has it in her hands, you better be looking to get open. That is all there is to that. Now, some of this is going to be Caitlin scoring herself, but hey, look at that. Caitlin has the ball in her hands. She's creating. She's going to get teammates involved. Same thing. She's looking around, and there it is. See what happens? And that's why I say, to be fair, it's not non-existent, but there's way too much standing around from her teammates. But this is a great example, the second one, of what I mean. She has the ball in her hands, she's keeping it alive, she's circling back out and keeping her dribble alive because she's looking for a teammate who reacts to what she's doing and cuts to the basket. So we get stuff like this. Boom! I mean, no one else makes that pass. No one else in the WNBA makes that pass. That is what you get. I love that so much. I love that so much with short hair and the two players hitting each other. But that is the type of stuff that you get with Caitlin Clark when she has the ball in her hands. It ain't bad for her to have the ball in her hands. Let's take a look at what happens when she doesn't have the ball in her hands. You get stuff like this all of the time. Can anyone please explain to me what the heck just happened? Where is this ball? But by the way, look where Caitlin Clark is first. Now, I had this conversation with people the other day. I said Kelsey Mitchell, and a lot of people were like, oh, look, there was that time Kelsey Mitchell passed to Caitlin. Yeah, there are times when she does, and she has to. I mean, obviously, it's not completely never. That's absurd to think when you have only 4 teammates on the court. But yeah, you can make the general statement because it happens enough, as you see here. Kelsey Mitchell refuses to pass the ball to Caitlin Clark. Look at this. You will never in your life see Caitlin Clark as wide open as you see her right here. Or I should say, rarely more open. You will see it like this, usually in transition. And here's the other thing, and this is my point that I was making before and why I wanted to talk about this. If that is Caitlin Clark with the ball and Kelsey Mitchell is where Caitlin Clark is, guess what happens? Caitlin Clark gets the ball to Kelsey Mitchell, and Kelsey Mitchell takes a wide-open 3, which she's going to hit far more often than not. By the way, so is Caitlin Clark. Also, go back to the point of, hey, Caitlin had 26 points. She was never open. They were all tough buckets. Well, here's why. On the rare occasion, usually in transition like this, where Caitlin Clark is wide open, she doesn't get the basketball. Instead, I have no idea what it is Kelsey Mitchell was doing here, other than she's in panic mode. Oh my God, I can't get the ball to Caitlin Clark. She's wide open. She might hit a three, but I'm the star of this team. I'm the star of this team. I can't let Caitlin Clark make open threes, so I'm just going to... I don't know what I'm going to do. I still have no idea what the hell that was supposed to be. Does anyone know what that was supposed to be? This team needs to make changes, and honestly, those changes need to happen now. There are too many issues showing up game after game for the Indiana Fever to keep doing the same things and expect different results. But I'll end on a positive note, because there is still plenty of reason for optimism. With Caitlin Clark leading the way, this team has enough talent to compete with anyone in the league. If Caitlin Clark gets a little more freedom, trusts her instincts, and takes control when necessary, I absolutely believe this is still a team that can contend for a title. The potential is there. The question is whether the coaching staff and the system will make the adjustments needed. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Wait. So you mean to tell me that Tiger Woods can go into a predominantly league that's the opposite color of him and dominate, and that's fine? Serena Williams can go into a predominantly league that's the opposite of her, and I'm talking about skin tone, and dominate, and that's fine. Jackie Robinson, you telling me he can go into another league that's predominantly a different color from him and dominate, and that's fine. But when Caitlin goes into a league that's predominantly this color and dominates and carries the league and put the league in the best position it's ever been in, that's a problem. You can't make this make sense. Like, y'all are the biggest hypocrites. This is the biggest version of double standards I've ever seen. It's disgusting. And I'm going to keep saying this. These two people have a lot in common. Whether y'all want to agree or not, I don't care what y'all want to agree with. At the end of the day, Caitlin Clark is the Jackie Robinson of the WNBA. I'm sorry if you don't like it. I'm sorry if you don't agree. And yes, it's modern time, so it's not the same exact thing, but you get what I'm saying. But yeah, it's just the truth, man.